Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What we saw yesterday was unedifying and at points a fiasco. Sub-postmasters watching will have rightly been dismayed and will have felt, if anything, that they were moving further away from getting justice. The ongoing conflict at the top of the post office and the failure of the government to get a grip is helping no one and is only further eroding trust in this process. And I do think the Secretary of State should reflect on how her approach to the news of recent weeks has only exacerbated that. We, and especially victims, have all had enough of the he said, she said. So does the Minister now recognise that the best way to end this is to fully clarify what the government has or hasn't said through an independent Cabinet Office investigation? Can I also pick up on some of the worrying evidence given yesterday by Carl Creswell, Director of the Business Resilience in the Business Department, where he said of the financial provisions set aside for Horizon compensation that he personally thinks we will end up spending more money in compensation overall than the 1 billion figure which was modelled at an earlier stage. This is incredibly serious. So can I ask the Minister, does he share this view held by one of his senior civil servants, and if so, what conversations has he had with government colleagues, and will he see this being reflected in next week's budget? Can the Minister clarify whether he or the Secretary of State were aware of that Nick Reed was also under investigation, as was allegedly stated in the 80-page document referred to by Henry Staunton in yesterday's Select Committee hearing, and specifically in response to me during an urgent question on the 29th of January, the Minister said that Henry Staunton's sacking was due not to the falling out that I referred to, but, I quote, about very serious governance issues relating to the person who headed the board of the organisation, which are obviously confidential human resources issues. Can the Minister confirm if he had sight of the confidential human resources report that was referred to in yesterday's Select Committee hearing, and if so, why was he selective in his update to this House? Finally, it's very important to make sure that we restore trust by urgently bringing forward legislation. So I hope that rather than yesterday's unseemly events, our focus can return to making sure we exonerate the sub-postmasters and deliver the recompense that they rightly deserve.